Now, hold out your right arm. We're going to do a little demonstration here. I've got a couple of pieces of green ribbon that we're going to tie onto your arm, one here at the wrist. Yes, I do this all the time. Okay. And we're going to tie one around your elbow. Now, do you know what a marionette is?
I can't think of it.
It's a puppet, a kind of puppet. It's got strings, and the puppeteer stands above it and makes it move by means of those strings. You say, what the heck does this have to do with violin playing? Well, I'm about to show you. Relax that arm. Ah, there we go. Now, when this arm comes up, what happens to the wrist?
It goes up.
Oh, now relax. Keep it relaxed. The wrist comes up. That's because I'm pulling the force through the wrist. This is so important. This is why, now of course you're out here at the tip, the hand's going to be turned. But as you're coming up, relax the arm, let me pull it up, the wrist comes forward. Okay, now let's get the violin and I'll show you why this is important. The single biggest mistake people make when they're learning is to keep the wrist down. There's two things wrong with this. First of all, it tends to make the bow go like this, and we know what happens to the sound there, right? Okay. The other thing that it does, the force comes up this way through the bow, and it tends to give it that gritty sound. If we raise the wrist, the force is coming up through the wrist, not through the bow. The bow is just sitting on the string. There's no additional force making it making that grit sound. Let's try this. Let's just set it here. Now, keep the wrist down. Let's do it the wrong way. That's it. Just the D. Now, keep the wrist down as you're coming up. You hear how you get that gritty sound. That grit gets removed when the wrist comes up because the force isn't going through the bow, it's coming through the wrist. Try it one last time with the high wrist. The wrist comes down at the tip, coming back. The wrist comes up. That's it. You see, you don't get that grit sound when you've got the wrist coming up.